In this video, we will discuss why directional overcurrent relays are used in parallel feeding circuit. In our previous video, we discussed how to calculate fault current and what is the distribution of fault current in 33 kV network. This is single line diagram of a 33 kV network which have two substations, substation A and B, and these two substations are connected by two parallel lines, and substation A is connected with grid or source. For each of the transmission line, 1000/1 CT ratio is used both at sending as well as receiving end. But our question is why we use directional overcurrent relay in parallel circuit. To know that, we will continue our discussion considering non-directional overcurrent relays are used both at sending and receiving end. A1 and A2 are sending end relays, whereas B1 and B2 are receiving end relays. For any transmission network, receiving end relays should operate first and sending end relays should operate later. So we set TMS of receiving end relay as 0.1, which is lesser than time multiplier setting of sending end relay. However, both sending and receiving end relays have same plug setting and same curve is chosen. As the curve is chosen as IC standard inverse, so due to any fault, trip time will be determined by this formula, where IN is plug setting and IF is the fault current converted in secondary. So to calculate trip time of all four number of relays at A1, B1, A2 and B2 points, we will calculate secondary relay currents at those points, because secondary relay current is required to calculate trip time of a relay. From the single line diagram, we can see that fault current at A1 and B1 are same and they are 3184. But for line 2, sending and receiving end currents are different. It is 3519 for A2 point and 3184 in B2 point. So we tabulated primary current for A1, B1, A2 and B2 points. From these primary currents, we will calculate secondary currents, which is nothing but primary current divided by CT ratio, which is 1000/1 for all of the 4 points. As secondary currents at all of the 4 points are known, so we can easily calculate trip time of A1, B1, A2 and B2 relays. As sending end TMS is more, so sending end trip time is more than receiving end trip time. As trip time of B1 and B2 relays are same, so for any fault at this point of line 2, both B1 and B2 will trip simultaneously, creating a blackout at substation B. But for a fault in line 2 at this point, blackout of the substation B may be avoided if we use directional overcurrent relay at relaying point B1 and B2. Directional relays will trip line if fault current flows in this way. But notice that fault current in line 2 is in direction of directional relay, whereas fault current in line 1 is in opposite direction of directional relay. So for this fault, in spite of fault current present and measured by relay, this relay will not trip. So this circuit breaker will trip and this circuit breaker will not trip. After tripping of this circuit breaker, this fault is isolated from substation bus bar B. So after tripping of this circuit breaker, this fault will only feeded by this feeder, and this feeder will not have any fault current. So this relay will not trip and this relay will trip after 8 to 4 milliseconds. So if we use directional relays in parallel circuit, then for any fault at this point, this and this two circuit breaker will clear this fault, and this circuit breaker will remain in operation. So there will be no blackout in this substation B. That's why we use directional overcurrent relay in parallel circuits. Hope you understand this topic. To watch more video like this, stay tuned by subscribing and don't forget the bell icon.